Hi, you're welcome to the Module 2 of the CEH version 10 hands-on training or course. And in this module, I'll be taking you through the first stage or the first thing a hacker needs to do when you want to hack into a system or a remote network. Alright, you can't just get up as a hacker, ethical hacker, or an attacker. You can't just get up and say, yes, I want to hack into the system, I want to hack into this network. Alright, the first thing you need to do is to get information, a whole lot of information that you need to get about the system or the network. It is the information that you have about a system or a network that will help you to hack into the system. Okay, and one more thing is, from the information you have about the system and or the network, you get to know the vulnerabilities that are resident in those systems or those target networks. Now, without further stories, let's go into what we need to do or what we need to learn in this module 2 of the CEH version 10 lab course. Now, the first thing that a hacker or an attacker or an ethical hacker needs to do is footprinting and reconnaissance. Now, in this course, I'm going to introduce to us kind of a roadmap about what we're going to be doing in this course. Alright, the first thing that we need to know is what actually is footprinting. Alright, and after that, we'll get to know the types of footprinting. Then we'll also get to know the information that can be obtained from footprinting procedures. Okay, and also we'll get to know the objectives of footprinting as the first stage of hacking or pen testing. Now, before we even go on, I just want to kind of give us a heads up into what we're going to be doing, okay, even if it's not in this very module, in the subsequent modules. All right, and that's what I call attack hints. Okay, so the first thing is footprinting, which is what I'm going to be doing in this very module 2, and after that is scanning. Okay, and after scanning, well, we have gaining access. That is the real hacking into those systems or those target networks, and more things that we're going to be talking about, or we're going to be exposed to, and we are going to be taught in the course of this training. Okay, so let's go back to footprinting. Now, footprinting concepts. Footprinting is actually gathering information about a target network. Alright, in the first stage of hacking, an attacker collects as much information as he can to identify various ways to intrude into the system. Alright, so like I said before, you need to gather, as a hacker or an ethical hacker, you need to gather a whole lot of information about the system, the target system, so as to know where the vulnerability lies, and you use the vulnerability to hack into the system. So now, types of footprinting. Now we have passive footprinting, which is the first type of footprinting. And what is passive footprinting? It is gathering information about a target system or network without direct interaction, without direct access into those systems or those networks. For example, when a hacker or an ethical hacker or a pen tester tries to just go to the target companies or organizations website to get information from there, you know, like maybe you get the names of companies or offices, you get emails, you know, stored in servers, you know, you can get all those things from the website. Okay, and a whole lot of things, information you can get from there. But just going to, for example, organization's website, getting information that you want to get is just what we call passive footprinting, because you are not directly attacking the organization to get information or to fetch information. So passive footprinting, most times it's not offensive. Okay, like if you have a website, if you own a website, somebody can browse your website without you knowing, so it's not offensive. Okay, so most times it takes place without even the owner of the website, like the organization for example, without their knowing, without their knowledge. It can just happen like that. That's why we call it passive footprinting. And the next type of footprinting that we're going to be seeing or talking about is the active footprinting. Now, what is active footprinting? It is the gathering of information about a target system or network with direct interaction. Say for example, getting information from those target organizations or network or systems using a technique called social engineering. And what is social engineering? That should be the next question that you have in your mind. Now, I would say social engineering is the term used for a broad range of malicious activities accomplished through human interactions. It uses psychological manipulations to trick users into making security mistakes or giving away sensitive information. Now, what are the informations that can be obtained using footprinting? One, you can get a lot of organizations information, employee details, telephone numbers, location, background of organizations, web technologies used in that organization, target organizations, and a whole lot of other stuffs. All right, so let's say for example, under network information, okay, information we can get about the target organization's network is one, domain and subdomain names. All right, when an attacker gets domain names or subdomain names of the organization, of the target organization, it helps them to get more information about the kind of things going on, the kind of system, the kind of departments such target organizations have. All right, also we can get network blocks, IP addresses of the reachable systems, because a lot of systems will be connected to the organization's network, and some might be switched off, or like shut down, turned off. Some of those systems might be live, like they are working, somebody's working on them. All right, so when you run footprinting operation, you get to know systems that you can reach over the network, systems that are live, that are actually working in the organizations. Also the whois record and the domain name system information. Now, there is system information that you can get from footprinting. Procedure is number one, operating system in use in the target organization. When an attacker gets to know the operating system an organization is using, it's like a broad way to knowing the vulnerability that each of those operating system has. And when an attacker knows the vulnerability of any operating system used in such organizations, it's like an easy, like a very big goal they've achieved. Okay, it's like a speedy road to towards hacking of those systems. Now, the second thing you need to know, or an attacker will get to know about under systems information, is the location of the web service. All right, and another one also, which is the number 3, is the users and their details, like their usernames and password, which is like the gold mine. If an attacker gets hold of username and passwords, a whole lot of things can happen to such a system or network. Now, purpose or objectives of footprinting. Now, why do we actually run this footprinting exercise? All right, number one, an attacker runs this exercise to reduce focus area to a specific IP address, networks, domain names, remote access. Now, in an organization, there are a lot of systems running in that organization. Most times, some systems are more protected than the others. So an attacker will get to find out which of the systems is more secure, which is more vulnerable. So when they know the ones that are more vulnerable, they can use that to penetrate into the organization. So instead of just hacking the whole target organization, and the ones that are so secure will be affecting or disturbing them, they rather go to the more porous systems. And number 2, to know the security status of all software, hardware, services, and networks. When an attacker knows this, they can plan good attack vector to use. When they get to know about the antivirus they are using, such organizations are using, and the kind of firewall, whether hardware firewall, whether software firewall, and the kind of configurations that such firewall has or have, it helps them a lot to now know what kind of trick or what kind of attack can be launched at such target organizations or target systems. Now, also, footprinting helps in identifying vulnerabilities, and when such vulnerabilities are identified, appropriate exploits can be selected to target such systems or organizations. And also, when an attacker runs a footprinting or reconnaissance attack, it helps them to draw network map, drawing a map of the target network so as to know the specific environment to attack. And now, this is the end of the concept of footprinting, and all the things we've mentioned are all concepts of footprinting. And in the next module, I will show you, or will delve deeper into teaching you the methodologies of footprinting, how we can carry out these footprinting procedures or attack. Thank you, and see you in the next module. Bye.